Oh no, we don't get a big reveal of who these characters are or anything. Ah, that allows us to theorize. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. This week was so excruciatingly hot in Los Angeles for us, people who speak in Celsius. It was up to like 38 degrees and it was disgusting. Enough complaining. I guess we'll always complain about the weather. You have found the Dutch in me. So today I'm going to be taking a look at The Warning. It's a little bit of an older one. It's called Martirio. And I am very excited to take a look at this one. And I haven't seen it yet, so you're going to get another really fresh reaction. If you're new here, my name is Manon. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a writer director who talks about the art of music videos. That's what we're here for today. I'm really excited to go take a look at another warning video. And yeah, join me.
A veces las cosas obvias son las más difíciles de ver. Te asfixiaste con tus propias manos. Cuando todo apunta que por fin alguien te viene a rescatar, te encuentras nuevamente abandonado.
So many cool shots. And first of all, I wanted to say it's like that opening shot. It's so dark and it's really reminding me of a video I just deconstructed recently, which is Madonna's Frozen, a classic, but such a beautiful video. And it's so fun to see something that really resembles that look a lot. And I'm referring specifically to this shot, this here. Beautiful. Obviously, they're wearing white, but it's because it's shot at night and it looks really dark. And we've got this sort of desert situation with the mountains in the background. It's sort of really ethereal looking. And it's just a great opener to this video. It's a great setting of the tone and the vibe of what's coming, you know? And just in general, it's such an interesting choice to make these shots so incredibly dark. So I think that's very interesting looking. As you can see, we have this beautiful zooming in on the girls. I also really love these shots. These sort of like, I'm guessing that they shot them through like a milky glass. It's looking really kind of creepy, ghostly, and it's reminding me of a movie, and I can't quite place it. At first, I was thinking like the film What Lies Below, and that's not it. I just looked it up, and it's not that. And there's a couple, I feel like there is a film where they kind of do this with hands in like this milky glass. So if you remember, please let me know. Like this one too, it's just really great. I love that we do see their faces a quite a bit. So it's not as milky as like it's not obscuring them completely. It's just really lovely. And these hands, it's kind of a little bit horror-like, isn't it? Especially with also how dark everything is, and it's a little spooky looking. It's very different, but still it's a little bit surrealist, which I love, which I always love. But it's creepy with the hands. It's like, is she being strangled here with this cloth? I don't know. And then we have all the hands. Like there's too many hands, and that always looks creepy. So really, really loving this too. Is I love this little these tent poles that they've set up to resemble sort of a little cabin, and then we have these white cloths again, which is so interesting. And they're sort of billowing in the wind. I don't know if it was just a windy day or if they had a wind machine. Must have been a really strong wind machine if that was the case, because it's billowing properly. And then this is also just really lovely. I love all the shots and the different angles that they give us. And also something that we've seen in these videos, in music videos quite a bit, is where, they're moving in slow motion, but they're lip syncing at the correct timing. So that means that they were playing this on set in a certain speed that was faster than the normal run speed of the song. And then when they're editing it, they slow it down, and then went back to normal run speed for the song, and then it looks like you're still lip syncing perfectly. However, all of everything else moves in slow motion, like the hair and the cloth and the fabrics. Like it's just moving really smoothly, you know what I mean? And so it's a really fun trick, and we see it quite a bit in music videos, but it's really beautiful. And I love the color grading here as well. And I love that they've now shifted to wearing these black costumes. So they're wearing this beautiful lace with their jeans, and now they have their instruments, and so there's a little bit of a tonal shift in that, and that's really, really cool. And we've seen from the warning videos that they're so very intentional with the costumes and everything. They always think things through with their incredible crew of people that they work with. And yeah, it's the same here. It's just beautiful. But yeah, just look at this gorgeous shot. It's just beautiful. I love that we get more of the view here, and the sun is setting. It's a perfect, beautiful, heading into golden hour. Just really gorgeous views here.
Intentas buscar explicación en lo profundo de tu ser y vuelves a caer en el vacío. Al fin te das cuenta en secreto que el dolor se quedará. Será tu nueva vida de martirio. Ya no hay vuelta atrás, no puedes escapar del fuego a tus pies. Y en la oscuridad te perderás. En tu martirio
Mm.
es tu destino. Entrégate.
Oh, nice. Okay, so let's take a look at some of this stuff that's going on, because we've now been introduced to these dark figures, and I'm not 100% sure what's going on yet. It's very curious. I wonder if there's some sort of deeper message here, because usually there is, and unfortunately my Spanish isn't good enough to quite understand the lyrics. So I love that we here have these figures, and they're holding this broken mirror with that seems to have been punched twice or something, like it's hit. And there's some really big cracks here, and then there's these parts where it was hit, and it's just it's very interesting. I wonder if maybe they had multiple mirrors and broke them in hopes that it would look good. Maybe they had to do a couple of tries, because you can't really control where the cracks go. It's looking really, really, really nice. And something that is interesting here also to consider is that what we're looking at is a different reflection, because technically we should be seeing the camera in this mirror. So there's some sort of trickery going on here. So what's interesting here is that I think what we're actually seeing is, even though it looks like we're viewing this, from straight on, they are angling the mirror ever so slightly so that we do not see the camera, but we do see her in the reflection here. So that's how you can achieve that. It's really interesting and really, really fun composition. And also mirror play is really, really fun in camera. So it's just you can get really interesting shots that way. And they've certainly achieved something really fun here. And it's also reminding me a little bit of what we saw in a video by Aurora for Your Blood that I also deconstructed on the channel recently, where they did something with mirrors as well. And it also had some great results. So again, I think here they're just angling it slightly so that we don't see the camera. And then we have all of these really, really beautiful. Oh, and look, here's a mirror that's not broken. So maybe we're going to see the moment that it does get broken. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. And then we have this sort of, I don't know, they sort of look like nuns or I don't know, there's definitely always something with this black and white and with these robes. It feels a little bit Christian, and the woman in white is like a frequently recurring trope in films when, especially in horror films, when the woman is dressed in white, she's supposed to, you know, symbolize purity and virginity and all of that sort of thing. And so it's kind of interesting. Maybe this is a good versus evil story, or that these women are sort of, I suppose, maybe trying to restrain them in some sort of way. Not quite getting it yet. But also we have this, and they're lighting this circle. So it does feel like there's a bit of a ritual going on, right? And stunningly beautiful shots here. I love that we have this dark sky with the really orange tones from the fire, which is just looking stunning. And again, here we have a very shallow depth of field, which means that we have a beautiful soft background, and we see the foreground here. The fire is sharp, so it's just a really beautiful contrast. And the blues and the blues and the orange here, it just looks really beautiful. And then we cut back to where they're playing the music, and we keep cutting back and forth a little bit. Oh, stunning. And so often they'll put fire in post because it is actually quite dangerous. But I did get the feeling that this was actually not done in post, although the only thing I would say is it is looking slightly homochromic. Would that be a word? Homochrome. Anyway, normally fire, we would see like a white towards where it's hottest, and then it gets darker towards where it's cooler. And here it's a little homochromatic, maybe. So just one color. So it might still be that they put it in post. Or it's been color graded to look more orange and a little bit unreal. So maybe someone can answer in the comments whether or not this was real or not. But it's looking great regardless. Really beautiful. Oh, and I know that we already played this before, but I wanted to go back a little bit and listen to it some more. It's a great song, by the way. I really, really am enjoying it. It's a bit more dark and moody than the other songs that I've heard of theirs. So it's really fun. And this is the way that they have set up this ring of fire, which now I'm getting Johnny Cash vibes immediately. But jokes aside, it's also reminding me a little bit of the video for The Islander by Nightwish, where they kind of have the musicians play in a ring of fire as well. In The Islander, it's like in a volcanic landscape, and here it's like in this really dry desert sort of setting. I really also like that we see the shadows so well. Like it's very stark. And that's what you get for shooting a little bit later in the day. You get these beautiful shadows. Hmm.
En tu martirio yo es tu destino entregar.
So I wanted to quickly pause it here because something that they did is they have this beautiful angle that's, angled just slightly upwards. The camera is sitting, a little lower. We're looking up at her, and they positioned her to be right in front of the sun, which is giving her this beautiful sort of angelic halo-like outline, and it's working really well. So it's hard to shoot because it's easy for you can actually already see here this is a little bit blown out, so where the whites are a little too strong where you lose some of your definition. They may have had to actually put some extra light on her face to sort of counteract that light from the sun so that she wasn't just a completely like black blob in front of the sun. So that's it's looking really great because of we have enough contrast here. We just saw this and it was so brief, but we have some of the black goo here. And the black goo is something that we see in quite a bit of rock and metal videos. And interestingly, it's something that we also just saw in that video by Madonna, Frozen. So I'm sure there was some inspiration taken from that video, and that's very exciting. Um, it's so cool to see. It's so interesting that they put this in because it's literally two shots. It's like blip, blip, and then it's gone. Take a look. So we see the girls here, and then it's like dunk, dunk. It's a beautiful sequence of shots there. Really very artful and just beautiful. And I am fairly sure that what we're seeing here was actually added in post because here the angle is quite different. So we're seeing the mirror more up front, whereas before we saw it at a slight angle, right? And we see all three of them here. The angle is definitely different. We don't see much of their feet at all. And you can see by some of how it's been sort of cut around these edges here that this was probably put in post. You can basically overlay a different video or shot on that frame that you cut out. So it's a really, really fun technique. And they really used it well here because I think because they use different techniques, it makes you assume that it's really there and it makes you forget that we should actually be seeing the camera. So really beautiful. And I love how it sort of blends in with the sky. Though it seems like it's a very different time of day too, a little bit if you're looking at this. But that's what we love to do, deconstruct and like figure out what they did a little bit, right? So none of this is a critique necessarily. Love that. And there's just some really stunning shots here in this little sequence of that we just saw. They're looking so creepy and ghostly, and I'm really want to figure out what's going on. All right, so let's keep watching.
Entrégate, aprende de los que sufrieron. Si hay que vivir en miedo, es mejor morir en manos de un adiós. Tu vida triste, mártir tonto, pide a Dios.
Oh no, we don't get a big reveal of who these characters are or anything. Oh, that allows us to theorize. So, yeah, I shared some of my ideas here along the like during the video. Maybe. Oh, we saw four of them, didn't we? I was thinking maybe it's the sisters, but like their dark side, if you will. Maybe not, because we saw multiple. But it seemed like there was some sort of like I don't know. I'm a little stumped. So tell me if you know what they intended for the message to be, and maybe I'm missing something about the lyrics. So let's talk about that in the comments. Like what here does this mean? I would love to know. And I love the song. It's so sort of moody. It's kind of a little big. And also what I love is when we get to the solo and like the last part, which is a little louder, the big finale of the song, the camera movement also becomes a little bit more ha- the camera movement also has a lot more movement and becomes more dynamic, and we have a little bit of that shakiness in the camera going on. So really fun, very dynamic feeling, and it really feels like a big ending. And we have some of this in the dark, and we see the fire in where they were performing before. Even though they're not really situated in that house with the fabric anymore, it's just really stunning. We have a smoke machine going here for the added atmosphere. So it really feels a little spooky, and it's actually a good start a little bit for like it's a soft start to the Halloween season, if you know what I mean, right? So I love that. So the timing is good. I'm really stoked to have seen another one of their videos, and they always do such an excellent job. I also wanted to say that I love the costumes that they were wearing, specifically the black costumes, because it was very consistent. I love how they were each wearing these black costumes, and here her necklace was sort of this sort of, a little bit like a antique silver look. Oh, you can see it better here, these chains, and then we have these beautiful chains here. So they pay so much attention to these kinds of small details, which is really really fun, and it just looks very coherent. Also, just wanted to point out as like my final uh, appreciation for this is I really love the color grade of the parts that were shot during the day in particular, because the blacks here are a little um, on the reddish side, which really fits with the environment. It's a little bit less highly contrasted. Like it's looking, as you would say, like the midtones have been pumped up a little bit so that it looks a little less deeply shadowed. But it's making for a really, really lovely, very cinematic look, honestly. It's a little bit of grain in there too. It's just very, very, very beautiful. Great job by The Warning as always. Their videos are phenomenal. This is very enjoyable. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did I miss? What did I miss about the lyrics in particular? I'm really curious if the video sort of ties into that. So please teach me. I am very, very excited to find out more about these wonderful, wonderfully talented girls. And yeah, I'm so glad that you joined me today. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't yet. We do a lot of fun stuff here. And if you're so inclined, you're very welcome to support me on Patreon. And we also have a Discord channel where more of us hang out. We have quite a few Warning fans on there too. It's really fun on there. So we talk about movies, we talk about music, of course, as well as games and all sorts of stuff. So if that's what you're into, come hang out. It's a great time, and I hope I'll see you for the next one. Peace.